Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, guys. It's sometime I'm not streaming, mate, and you will be wondering why. You will be wondering why. I will explain you why, because actually there is a reason. So we were actually working on a number of quite a bunch of stuff and different tests related to combat, and I didn't have basically a way forward, and so considering I didn't have a way to proceed, I decided not to stream, but do some investigations and understand how we could proceed. So that's why I didn't stream on Friday, or I didn't stream yesterday on Saturday. Yeah, well, we're streaming today, Sunday afternoon. So the point is that I will explain a bit of the background of this and what we have been doing and why and such. So the idea was to have a more interactive combat system, right? And to have a way for our character to actually attack. And I will show you what I mean. Attack at a certain timed events, so the other character can block and he can attack and things like that, right? And do it interactively. The way it works today in Plan Shift is not interactive, meaning that you decide when to attack, meaning just the start of the attack. So you decide to attack a monster, and then basically the engine takes over. The engine takes over and it resolves the combat. Now the only thing you should do is to face the monster and stay in range, but then every attack is basically executed for you automatically by the engine. That is how, let's say, the old Plan Shift works. And this means that, for example, if I am this character and I wanted to attack this other character, I will just stand in front of him and go in combat mode and say attack, and that's it, right? And then the other one will start to attack me, and the combat will be resolved automatically, let's say, round by round, which is, let's say, more realistic from the point of view of the say, role play, because it means that your character will hit, exactly like is scripted in your skills and your stats and such. Now, we were thinking to do something different, so we were thinking to have, let's say, a way to click like this and to swing and to attack the other hero, right? So that you could, I don't know, run around, avoid the hits, then come back, hit, run around, come back, hit, and things like that, right? So, and the point was that we were investigating how to actually collide with my sword, right? Collide with my sword with the character. So we were trying to understand if, I don't know if I can take a screenshot when is. Yeah, maybe. Let me see if I took it right enough. Hold on. The sword is not visible. Well, it's here actually. Yes, this word is here. You see it, and it's not very visible because it's pretty. But it's this one, right? This one is this word. It's not very visible, but it's here. So, so basically, we were trying to understand how the swipe, I don't know how to call it, right? The movement of the sword was going through the NPC, right? So this thing should go through the NPC and do damage. And so we tried to see, okay, how can we detect that the sword is actually going through the body of this NPC? And maybe what we will do, we will, you know, have a shield of some kind, and if the weapon for any reason, can I make it filled out? Yes. Okay, it's not the best shield ever, but you would okay. So if this guy has a shield of any kind, right? Then there is the shield. My sword will miss, or the hit will be blocked, right? Will be blocked by this guy. So this was the idea. The problem, and we tried quite a bit to do this yesterday and the previous day, but there are a number of issues in doing this. First of all, hello soup. First of all, the fact that we have actually some technical problems in Unreal to do this. I mean, obviously there are ways, but the ways are not that simple because the speed of the swipe. Is this called swipe, by the way? I think so. The speed of the hit of the movement of the sword depends a bit on the frame rate, depends on different things, and so your weapon may actually do this movement, right, through the NPC, but at the same time maybe is not hitting at every, you know, at every location. Maybe it's hitting here, it's hitting here, it's hitting here, it's hitting here and here, you know, so it's not continuous through the movement, right? That is the first problem that we faced. The second problem, that is what I realized a bit tonight, and I mean yesterday night, and is the reason why I decided to do it differently, is that even if we manage to have a good detection of the precise hit, this will be extremely unfair with the different races, or anyway, it will be very different from different races, right? So let's imagine that you have, and the different weapons as well, because let's imagine that we say that you have a claymore like this one, but you also have a dagger, right? You also have a dagger as a weapon. Now, how easy it will be to actually hit an NPC with a dagger compared to the claymore? I mean, everyone will use the claymore. Obviously, no one will use the dagger, right? So because the dagger is whatever 40 centimeters or something like that maximum, the claymore is 1 meter and a half or 1 meter and 8. So why I should use? So let's imagine I have this weapon that basically hits all the time because it's so big that I boom. And by the way, I actually hit him in the face. Yeah, there is some physics that when I hit him, it's just going crazy. I don't know. But anyway, this monster also has a claymore, by the way. So, but if I change my weapon, and I use a smaller weapon like a falcon. Sorry, now for some reason my NPC is stuck. Yeah. I know why, because we didn't change. I mean, there is a small issue with the current code because I was doing some tests. But the point is that if I change it with a falcon, it will be extremely hard to hit. I will have to go so close to the enemy. Hello, Delane. I will have to go so close to the enemy that the usage of the weapon will become unpractical. So what I was reasoning yesterday is then why we want to do this detection of the hit. I mean, why? Okay, it's cool to do because it's nice to do, but why the hell should we do it? Right? Why every weapon shows up as a falcon now? I think I know, because I need to revert my okay because I was doing some tests, and so I put the claymore as a default weapon. Okay, Yeah, I have to revert to what the changes that I did. But yes, if you imagine a falcon, so if you imagine attacking this guy with a weapon that is like 40 centimeters or a one that is 2 meters, makes so much difference. And then, so the question is why we want to do this, right? And I don't think we want to do this. I don't know what is your idea, but my idea is that it's a bad idea. I mean, it will completely break the design of the weapons and of the races. So, so the races that will be bigger like this, they will have an advantage. The weapons that will be bigger, they will have an advantage. I don't think it's a good idea, right? I don't think it's a good idea. So we are not gonna do this. Even if it was a cool idea, you know, to actually swing and do stuff. So now let me explain what I want to do. I want to do a kind of a mix between the two systems. So I don't want to go back. Let me see if I can revert to whatever I did because I did some changes and those changes are bad. I mean, I will just test. So let me close all the editors and don't save anything and go back to the situation where I was before, right? Yeah, I think I should restore everything, blueprints, all of this. Okay, let me revert all of this. Okay, nice. So now we should have again, let me see if it works, but we should have again our standard way. The volume is too low, the volume of the microphone. Actually, in OBS is already very high, but let me try. Microphone. I think there was a kind of a boosting thing, no? I mean, I'm already at, okay, now it's 100% instead of 81. It was lower. When I lower this, it makes it so much lower. Is it better now or is it too high? I think it's too high. Huh? What if I do this? Because like this, I think it's too high. I think it's above the range. Tell me. So let's do a few things. So this is setting number one. This is setting number one. Okay. This is setting number two. This is setting number two for the volume. Setting number two. Setting number two. This is setting number three. Setting number three. Setting number three. So which one of the three you want? Tell me 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Now you don't remember which one they were, eh? But I think like this is, yeah, probably this is 100% and 20. I feel it's a bit too high, but it's up to you. Huh? If you feel it okay your side, I think it's fine. Setting number 3 was like this. Setting number 3 was like this. So it was 20 dB, but I think it's very similar to the one that we had before, no? It's very similar. Is it okay now? Is it okay? I don't know. I will leave it like this. I think it's a. I don't know why here in the bar is super low. You know. The bar is super low. Well, if I make it a bit higher like this, like a mid-range, now is a bit better. Okay, let's leave it like this a bit, and you will tell me if it's fine. Also because there is some delay between my voice and your answers, so it's not very easy to... Okay, so let me just go in again. Let me just go in again and see if everything is back to what it was. I put the falcon up. Yes, I have my falcon up. If I have my shield, I got my shield. I want my helm. My helm, I think I don't have it. I think my helm is somewhere in one of these houses because I clicked on it and I clicked on drop, and for some reason at the moment we don't have a sense of range. So you can drop things in absolutely any place in the world. I think if I point up, it will be attached to the sky. So I think I throw it somewhere here. I don't know where my helm is. I have no idea. But anyway, it seems that it's back to what we were. If you spot it, let me know so we recover it. Like for example, there is a falcon here. You see, there is a falcon inside the house up there. I cannot click it. I cannot take it, but anyway, I can remove it from the database. So what is the point? The point is that now the way I want to do it is still the fact that we have a combat mode, absolutely yes, and still the fact that I can swipe, I can attack like this, and so I can move and attack, That's definitely the way I want to do it. But instead of using the size of the weapon and the exact hit, right, the exact hit on the body, I would just consider two things. I would consider if you are facing the monster, so let's say if there is direct visibility from your character to him compared to your forward position. So if you are here, you will hit the monster. If you are like this, you will not hit the monster, right? So I will consider that, and then I will consider, so also here you will not hit him, but like here you will hit. So even if your weapon will not visually hit the monster, I don't care, it will still hit him. Okay. And the second thing will be the distance. So the distance being that certain weapon will have longer range, and so for example if you are here you will not be able to hit. If you are here, maybe yes. If you are very very close, absolutely yes. Okay. So that are the two parameters that we want to use. Now, how was combat in the old plan shift? Combat in the old plan shift, as I told you, was, so that is the way we will do it, right? Combat in the old plan shift was very different. So basically you had server and client as usual, right? Server and client. Oops, can I type that? And what was happening was that a character was saying start attack, right? And this start attack was sent to the server, and the server was starting to resolve the combat. So it was basically starting the combat mode, and then in a kind of a regular fashion, so every X amount of seconds, right, it was scheduling the attack. So it was like player attacks, enemy attacks, player attacks, enemy attacks, and so on, right? So this was what the engine was doing, and this was working until this was working until the enemy was in range. When the enemy was too far, then you were sending the message of stopping the attack. So here you were receiving, you know, all the different attacks exactly like the server was sending you, and here you were seeing that you couldn't hit anymore, and so it was stopping the attack. Then if you were coming closer again, if you were coming closer again, then the combat was restarting. So that's basically the way it was working. Okay. Which means that we have to do a lot of changes, a bit of changes. Now, the way I want it to work now, is different. So the way I want it to work now is the following. So, So server and client as usual. So client, let's say start the attack. Okay, start the attack meaning that he swipes, you know, he right clicks. Okay, he right click the mouse basically. He right click the mouse to start the attack. Now nothing should happen until the server says something. So you click your left mouse button. Nothing happens. Hello, Reckless Gaming. Welcome. Is way too loud? Okay. I don't know, man. I mean, everyone is saying that it's too loud or not. I can turn it down a bit, but I think then we are back to where we were. I can turn it down a bit. Let me see. Where was it? Sounds. No, it's not sounds. Is this one? Yes, I can do a kind of a middle ground between 93 and I think it was 80 something. So let me do this. 89. I hope it's a bit better. Okay. So what I was saying is that when you start the attack, right, nothing is happening on the client side. We want the server to validate range and facing. I don't know how to call it. I mean, if you're facing the monster, right? So if that is validated, then actually we need to do a few things. We need to start the attack. We need to execute the attack or resolve the attack. Resolve the attack, which may result into a hit or may result into a miss, right? And it is resolved with our current rules. So based on your skill, the skill of your character, the armor, the whatever, right? And so at that point, is sending out to the client the fact that you have hit, for example, or you have missed, right? And maybe we can have a different visual effect. I mean, the hit will have a particle or something, you know. So we could have a particle effect just to show that you hit. The miss, and it can also have a sound, so there would be like a sound only that you have missed. Yeah, so this would be particle effect plus sound, and maybe it would be sound only, a different sound telling you that you have missed, right? Now, the interesting part though could be that at least the I mean, we could have a block. If we want, we could have a block. Because we could say that if you sorry, this is a left click, not right click. I wanted to say left click. So we could say that okay. We could say that you could block with your right mouse button, and then if you stay in block, it gives you some additional bonuses. That would be pretty much okay. I mean, they would not be too hard to do. There would be not too much game breaking. I mean, for our rules, I mean, It may be applicable to anyone and anything, so including monsters. So monster could know that they can block, and so yeah. So optionally the player could. Now I'm not sure if I want to put it now, but so this will be right click for block, right? And I have to think about it, but in the resolve the attack, you could consider if you are blocking or if the monster is blocking, and give maybe a bonus or a malus on the attack. Okay, so but for now we're not gonna do this because this will gonna change a bit our rules are. Now, what is the benefit of that compared to the current system? Well, instead of, I mean, here basically what happens is that in the old system you have one attack after the other at a specific timing, which is basically the fastest timing possible, considering the speed of your weapon. So if your weapon hits every 1.5 seconds, every 1.5 seconds you will generate an attack, right? So it doesn't really doesn't really require you to click on anything. Now here what we could do that is not start attack, but is actually only attack, you know, so it's just attack. And so if you click once, you attack once, and then you have to do it again, right? So you can move in between, but then you do another attack. So nothing happens unless you click again. So that's the point. That's the difference between the new system and the old system, right? Okay, now it's okay. Okay, good. So so basically, when you click again, when you click again, we will validate the range, and the same thing will happen, right? So we will go back to we will go back to here, right? We will go back to that. So this will allow you, for example, to move here. Will allow the monster to move here, and it will be a bit more dynamic, right? So maybe monster will not just chase you to death, but they will just pause, look around, find, let's say, an opening, hide behind something, or run away. I don't know. So now another thing that we could do. So there are a lot of options that we could have. Okay, so we could have the optional block, which would be cool. And then another thing that we could have optionally is a kind of a timed attack. Timed attack means that you will have a kind of a bar. I don't know exactly how to do it, but you will have a kind of a bar, you know, which is you will have a, I mean, I'm thinking aloud about this point, but you will have a kind of a bar which gets like consumed while you after you attack. So it lasts, for example, if your weapon is 1.5 seconds, this bar will last 1.5 seconds, right? So you will see the bar going down, right? You will see the bar going down. You hit is full, and then it goes down, blah, 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 to the left, to the left, to the left, until it's 0. Now there could be a kind of a sweet spot. This is what I'm thinking at the moment. There could be a kind of a wait a second, I'm trying to do something, but okay. There could be a kind of a sweet spot, like here in the last 0.5 seconds, right? That if you hit, if you click again with your left attack, if you click again, you will have, let's say, the perfect timing, you know. So like the attack will start immediately after, you know, immediately after. If you miss it, so if you hit the bar like here, you know, or after, or here, right? Then maybe you will have a half a second delay, something like that. You will have half a second delay, and so you are basically attacking less, no, in a period of 20 seconds, instead of doing 15 hits, you would do only 12, right? And so you are missing the opportunity to attack at the maximum speed, right? So I don't know. There is also another optional thing that I'm reasoning to make it more interactive, to be sure that the combat is not boring like it is today, which is basically completely managed by the server. Right? I don't know what you think about it, if you have any feedback on that, but I have these two optional things that we may decide to add, right? These two things. Which I will not do at the moment. I think we can do later on. It's not a problem to plug them in later on. So basically, how the system will look like, right, is that I'm in game. I go in combat mode. I still have to understand if you want this or not. But let's assume that I go in combat mode. There is my NPC here waiting for me. So I swipe once. And before, I mean, when I left click, actually the attack doesn't happen immediately, right? Well, it happens immediately for me, but it goes to the server, validates that the NPC is in front of me or not, and if he's in front of me, if I'm in the right range, it will actually show this animation and maybe a boom, a sound of the fact that I hit. And the opposing NPC will play the animation of being hit. Then I could move around, so my attack doesn't continue, right? So my attack doesn't continue. I move around, and only when I click again, I give another hit. Meanwhile, the NPC obviously will feel the fact that he's getting hit, and so he will start to chase me. For sure, he will start to chase me and try to do the same, right? So I think that is the way we should do it, which is a kind of a compromise between the old system and the new system. We'll make it more interactive. We will not have... Now, the problem is that we will not have a target, right? That is something that we have to consider. Because, with this system, you don't really have a target selected. Right, so like here I have selected this guy, or here I have selected this guy, right? Now, if you do a system where when you are in front and you swipe, you don't really need to have it selected, I think it's probably okay. So like he hits the first thing that he sees, between us, and so if there is another monster in between, so let's assume that this guy is in between, and I attack. Now obviously this monster is super big, but let's assume they are close enough. My target will automatically be this monster. The problem is with ranged weapons, because with ranged weapons we may be in this situation, but still we may want to hit the second character, so the Kran, right? So with ranged weapon, I think we need to do a different resolution. Because the other way is to keep the current system in terms of targeting, which basically in plane shift today, you have to target your enemy. And then when you have targeted it, anything you do, spells, attacks, whatever, are going to this guy. But this is because, again, is done this way, right? And so the server is doing this automatically for us, right? In a system where we attack manually, maybe the target is not needed anymore, right? In any game today, you don't target something, you just go close to it and attack it. So I think it's very natural to. The only problem is for ranged weapons and spells, because you may have a guy here, but with your spell you want to target the guy that is at the back, and so we need some sort of targeting anyway, at least for spells and ranged. We don't need it for melee. Right? I don't know what you think about it. I think it's a good compromise, but if you have any comments, let me know. Because I would like to understand if you feel it's a good idea or not. Right? Okay, so let's do this. So I want to do it, and I want to kill a monster today, if possible. Right? So how we need to, what we need to do? So we already have the ability to go in combat mode and attack. This attack is already, let's say, multicasted to all the other clients. The only thing that we need is that we need a server validation before this happens, right? So we don't want the attack to automatically happen, but we want a kind of a server validation, like we said in this other picture, right? So we want this validation here, validate range and facing, and then resolve the hit, and then play the animation of attack. So here actually we will have the play animation, right? The play animation will be in this block, not when you left click. Will be down here, right? Only after the server validated. Now I was looking at the code and trying to understand what we should port. I mean, if we should really port something or not. Actually, we have a combat manager. Combat manager is a class that is managing all the hits. Is this one, combat manager, right? And as you see, there is there are all the outcomes, right? Like the out of range and the bad angle is already part of the story, so we just have to do it in Unreal. This part will have to be obviously different. There is already, this queue. Okay, so we need to change the queue, because the queue for us is no more a queue. So the queue is done by left clicking. So that is something that we will have to change. Is already doing some check about PvP areas, because we have some areas of the map where you can PvP with other players. So is already doing a kind of a reasoning on the stance. The stance also I think is a good idea. Maybe we could change it with the mouse wheel. Yeah, and then there is this thing, which is basically the method that we need, right? Which is attack someone. So this attack someone is exactly the method that we need to, yeah, for example, it does some checks, like if you are overweight, you have too many items, you cannot, not if you're fat, if you are overweight in terms of items, you cannot attack. If he's already fighting, switch the stances. I mean, this code is good anyway for us. I think it's good. It's code that we want. He's doing a lot of checks on the type of weapon, and then I think the result of this should be. I mean, what is the result of the thingy? Attacker, char, get attack you first, can attack, use the default attack type, get attack ID, check requirements. Okay, there is the attack. Okay, so this one is the actual hit. So we will need to get a result out of this and send the information to the player that he actually hit or miss. Okay, so this is where we have to do it. But I think that porting this class is anyway a good idea, right? I'm just looking at it. Set combat, change stances if new player, blah blah blah. Stop attack. Okay, stop attack, we will not use it anymore. Basically, this one will not be used anymore. I'm not sure there is a wise idea after all. Spice may not be offensive. I don't know what is that comment. I don't remember it. Yeah, the other thing we want to be sure is that our okay, there is also the death event. Okay, the other thing we want to be sure is that the NPC gets the perception of the attack, and so basically we'll try to attack back. Right? Yeah, so I think we should port this. I mean, my first feeling is let's port this class to Unreal, and when we have it to Unreal, we will see. But the main method we are gonna call is this one: attack someone. All the rest for now we can leave it. We can leave it empty. Okay. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna port this class. I don't know how long it will take, but we're gonna do it. So let me move from the old to the new. So combat manager will be inside server, and so it means that it will be here. Okay, obviously we'll complain a lot at the beginning. Copyright 2001, look at this. How cute is that? 2001, look at that. Maybe some of you were not born yet in 2001. Well, maybe they were, but not by many years. Maybe some of you didn't. Okay, so I think we can leave all of that the same. Now, do we need a message manager? No, so we can remove message manager. Let's start to do all the typical updates. Okay, so everything that is gem actor becomes APS character, which includes monsters, players, and pets. Right, so we have these three categories, and so we changed it here, and I would say let's change it also in the CPP. Right, then we have the other usual substitutions like CS vector becomes an F vector. We can do it everywhere, and we can do the same here, CS vector, F vector. Then we probably have CS string, right? So we do the same, CS string becomes F string. Substitute everywhere here and everywhere here. Okay. Now we also have the array. I don't know if there is any array. Let's see if there is any CS array. Yeah, there are also some CS array. So all the CS array become T array. And for the ones that don't know what I'm doing, don't understand what I'm doing, basically we have a game which is already developed with another engine, and this code is from that game. And what I'm doing, I'm porting the code of that game to Unreal. Okay, and luckily enough, I did a lot of those substitutions already, and I know pretty much what I have to do to port it. Now it's not always smooth, but yeah, I think is fine. Let me check the includes. I think message manager. Do we still have message manager? I don't think so. I think this message manager doesn't exist in our new Unreal. I know it does. Message manager, it does exist. What is it doing? I don't think this thing is doing anything. In fact, it's fully commented. But anyway, let's leave it, but I think we can delete it later on. Okay, so now the only thing I need IntelliSense to finish the parsing and tell me if I'm missing anything. Let me check stances. Another thing we need to do, we need to declare combat manager in the... Yeah, there are some CS we craft. Client also becomes APS character. We don't want client anywhere, actually. Client is an old concept, and now we don't have anymore. So we have to substitute Oops, we have to substitute client as well. So we substitute all of that. Yeah, there will still be a lot of errors in the C++ file, obviously. Game event becomes UPS game event, and there will be a lot of messages here. I think we don't have. The other thing we need to do, we need to declare this class as a global variable like we did for all the other managers, because I think that, let me check, but I'm pretty sure if I go in my PS server and I search for combat manager in this file, yes, there is initialization of combat manager. Also there is initialization of PvP, which I don't know exactly what it does, but yeah, we need something like that anyway in our initialization, which happens actually inside PlaneShift base game mode. And I think there should be a combat manager here. No? Yes, it is. Okay. So we need to init our new combat manager, and cache manager, entity manager are both now global, so we don't need that. Instead of return false, we should do this, which is basically exiting from the game because we don't want and yeah, we want to do this as well, and we want to do something like this. We want to say started combat manager. Okay, so just to have some printouts at the beginning to know what actually happened. Okay, this is okay. Now combat manager, we need to obviously create this variable which doesn't exist yet, so we go in our PS Unreal, and like we did for all the others, we have a combat manager pointer to combat manager, which is actually defined in combat manager.cpp. And yeah, and then in our combat manager CPP, we need to ensure, like we did for the others, that we have the include PS Unreal, because that's required by all. And let me think, do we need it to be well, we will probably need to have one event converted to PS Unreal events, but we can do that later. So this would be okay. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to check, yes, for all the also all the PS character become APS character everywhere, here and here. Okay, we replaced 2. Now there are still few problems like CS random gen. CS random gen, if we go back to our code conversion, is fmat range low and high. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We just need to check here in the CPP when we have a random gen. Yes, we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We don't need. Also, the constructor will be different. It's perfectly fine. What is the constructor here? So we remove this, and let me just check where is the random gen. What? It's not there. So we never use it. Okay. A bit surprised, but it's fine. We never randomize in this class. Okay, so probably we randomize in the attack. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to change a few things. So the bselect becomes the bquery is the only one. Okay, fine. Now we have to do all of those, error 2, error 3, so all of those we have to do. So error 2, error 3 become something like this. DB last error. Okay, for now we use log temp, then maybe we make a new log which is called combat. Okay, yeah, I think so. All the subscribe we don't need anymore because we are doing it differently. This error should be changed. This error should be changed. Okay, let me search all the error and we do them all. Yeah, there are also all the system error, by the way. Okay, there are no more errors, but there are the system error. Let's do the system error. I've seen there are not too many. This send system error. Also, these are like one-liners, so it's very easy. It's something like this. Yeah, it's basically checking those two, those two conditions. If you are too far away, or okay, also the case that you don't have any weapon equipped, which makes sense. So if you have no weapon equipped, you cannot do that. All the get character data doesn't exist anymore in our new world, so we can remove them all. There are some debug though. Let's see, there are some debug which we want because we will need to debug. So we convert this one to, and here we will need the log for sure, because otherwise every time someone attacks, you will have a printout, and so it will be very, very verbose. Too much verbose. Okay, there is another debug here. Yeah, the stop attacking will make no sense now in our world, so I'm fixing it anyway, but it will not work for us. That actor. Yes, because this was, I understand now, we don't need that anymore. Let me see if there is any other debug here. No, there is no other debug. Okay, this is UPS game event, but probably we have to change this. Yeah, there's still a lot of errors, obviously. Now, one thing I want to do, I want to remove the combat manager from our dummy class, because here for sure we have it. And this one will have to go. So that we can call the actual combat manager that we have here. So that will generate a lot of errors, but we will we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. Just have to escape every possible F string. Range to, this was returning a range. Okay. I think it's something like get distance from, but get distance to, yes. It only has one parameter though. Cache manager, which we can just call it like this. And what else? Get client ID doesn't exist anymore in our new system. Message combat stance. This one I don't know exactly where it's coming from. Let me check. Message combat stance is coming from this, which is inside messages. We didn't copy this. It's in messages.h. It's actually commented out. I don't know why. Yeah, I think we would change this one. Yeah, that's probably why. We will change this one. What is this? There is a message that we are telling to all the players. Yeah, I think so. I think that here we are notifying all the players that this particular character has changed his combat stance. So this will become for us a multicast message, right? I don't remember how we do it, but it's similar to what we do, for example, when someone drops an item. When someone drops an item, let me check. No. No. What is the text that you see in plain shift when someone drops an item? Is it drop or is it something else? I was expecting to see it here actually. I can just test it out. I don't remember what is in the code, so is it quicker for me to just do it and check the string than search it through the code, you know? Considering that we start to have hundreds of thousands of lines of code, so it should be inside PS item, but if it's not in PS item, maybe it's in one of the commands, so maybe it's inside player command or something like that. Let me drop this claim. So in the chat, says Cran dropped a claim. Okay, it says dropped. So let me search dropped in all open documents. There it is. No, it's not here. It's not here. Okay, I think it's here. Yes, it's here. Where are we? In APS character drop item. Okay. Here is the multicast. Okay, here is the multicast. So this is exactly what we need to do. So we need to call the same function. The difference is that now here we are in the combat manager, but it's okay. I think we can take any character and call. Come on, IntelliSense is one of is in the same class. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. So we can use multicast. We can give a range if we want. Yes, and we can send a message type. So I think it's exactly this, just in our combat manager. So the system message becomes combatant. We can use this character as the transmitter, and the message should be and the message should be this. So let's do an f string message equal to whatever. Equal to this, where we get the component name, the stance, and get data. Yes. And then the only difference is that we want to have this here and false. I actually don't know what is it. What is this parameter? Exclude self. No, okay, we don't want to exclude self. I think we want to send it to everyone. Including ourselves. Okay. NPC manager. NPC manager, I think now is called NPC manager. And it doesn't have a Q attack perception, but I think he has directly a handle perception attack. IntelliSense is sleeping. I mean, we can do it later. Get client we don't need. All the get client I think we can remove. This we don't need. Get client ID. This is another combat message. Okay, this one we will have to change. This is the actual, you know, message that sends back the death event, place the animation, etc. So that's a good one. In our case, will not be a message. We just set, I think, the mode death on the player, and it should be done in theory. Yeah, so this one is not needed. This one will have to be changed dramatically. It is actually none. This get client doesn't exist. Get actor also doesn't exist. And send system info, we can convert it. Send system info is converted this way. Your opponent has spared your life. Nice. So this one we can just convert this way, and here is loser. Get actor we don't need. Loser is valid. I think we can remove this because it's not in Unreal. We don't do that. Okay, so we removed a bunch of errors, but still NPC manager. We need to import NPC manager. PS config doesn't exist. PS world also doesn't exist. Ouch. NPC manager. NPC manager actually does exist, but is under NPC client, so that's why it doesn't see it. So is actually here NPC client / NPC manager. Net manager we don't have anymore. Globals we don't have anymore. The rest should be fine. Location type load. And IntelliSense is thinking. Check within bounds. Yeah, this one will have to be changed a lot. This one. This one I don't know exactly how to do it. I will have to check. Maybe for now we can remove it. Not the assignment. Okay. CS array item not found is actually index known, so we can probably do a mass substitution of this. There will be probably only one, but who cares? No, there are two. Stances is an array, so get doesn't exist anymore, but it's just like this. The same here. All of those are unfortunately to be changed. All of this has to be changed. Because in the old crystal space we had this get function which was returning the array, so the array element. I don't know why we did it. I think there was some reason why we did it, but I was doing some additional checks, I think. Okay. We are clearing out most of the errors. Now let me see if we can have this handle perception attack. Yes. Now target NPC. Okay. Notify target. There is the usual problem of gem object, because gem object is actually, it could be an item, right? And our problem is that we have seen that if we try to cast an A actor to no, but that was only through the interface. Yes, if it's not through the interface, I think it's fine. So I think we can change this to A actor and it should be okay. A actor in current document everywhere. Thank you. And here gem object. Replace all. Oh, there's only one. Okay, fine. Now the only thing we want to ensure here is that here we are checking if this guy is an NPC. So he's doing two things: is casting it to APS character, right? So in our case will be cast APS character and then target, and that's fine. But then we need to check if this is an NPC. So we need to do if this and target NPC, and then we should have a function whenever intelligence comes up, which is NPC. I can just type it. I think it's like this. And then if he's an NPC, we notify the NPC of the attack, and so the NPC may react, right? So we send him the perception that he has been attacked, and so we can have him say something, or why you are attacking me, something like that, right? Okay. Now. By the way, we are streaming on YouTube and Twitch, so if there is anyone in Twitch channel, let me check, but I don't think so. If there is anyone there, yeah, say hello and welcome anyway to the stream. I'm just checking there. Yeah, there is someone. So anyway, we are streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, so you can join one or the other as you wish. Okay. So stop moving. Handle that event. Stop moving. We don't have a stop moving. I don't know why we don't have a stop moving, but anyway, probably because the stop moving was going to the super client, right? Gem actor stop moving. Let me see what he's doing. Stop moving is just blocking the velocity. Yeah, we will have to do it slightly different here, because I think we can do it with the animation. So let me put you fix me, and we will stop chart movement. I will comment it out for now. It's fine, and we will see, because I think we do it while we do this part. Let me see if there is any other easy one, and then we start to go with the hard ones, because at the moment we fixed a lot of errors, but they are the easy ones. Log type load. What is complaining about? No instance of overloaded function. Location type load match the argument list. PS result in SQL wrapper. Okay. Let me check. Location type. We have a load through XML, but we also have a load through database, and in this case we just have a through for the database. Okay. So we have result row and update DB at through, so we should just do that and we'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, because I changed slightly some of those functions. This check within bounds, check within bounds is taking a vector, and so yeah, I think it's just like this because the engine is not needed anymore. Right? I think it should be fine. So we fix those two. We're pretty close, huh? Now this one is the one that sends the notification of death. Now, do we want to do it now? I don't know. I think we should do it later. So I think I would just comment out this word block, and we will do it later on. I don't want to mess with that now. Send attack queue. Not completely sure of this one. We have no documentation on it. Okay, pity. What is this doing? Sending the attack queue. PS attack queue message. Attack iterator, attack queue, get attack list, as next, PS attack, add attack, construct send message. I think that is for the special attacks. Who's calling this function? I would like to know who's calling this. Is anyone calling this? Well, I guess yes, but I don't know exactly who. I'm searching through the whole set of files. Bling. Okay, so in the new code, no one is calling it. In the old code, because it's a subscribe. Okay, so it's a subscribe. I forgot that. Okay, so it's a subscribe, meaning that you can see. So we have to search the message. So meaning there is a message. Is a message they will receive. Yes, send attack queue, send attack list. These two messages are the ones that are received by the client. So is this PS attack queue message. He's sending the list of attacks. He's sending the list of special attacks. Do we need it? I think we need it now. Do I want to port it now? I don't know. I mean, send attack queue. I don't think I want to port this now. Let's put just send a PS attack book message. What is a PS attack book message? No idea. Attack book message. I have no idea. For now, let's comment it out. I don't care. So this probably has to be ported, but we will do it slightly later. Okay, not today. I mean, not now. Not now. Okay, so Combat Manager should compile, in theory. Wait a second. I have everything open, including the editor. Server. Okay. Okay, let me try to recompile and see. I think I will have to stop streaming a bit earlier today, though. I cannot finish at 8. I need to finish at 7 because I have to go out for dinner. But I think we can make a good progress anyway. Okay, so we can is compiling. We can update our mission, by the way, because I didn't update our mission, right? So enable load of equipped items on chart loading. This one it was actually done. We didn't flag it, but this one is done. And I think I didn't save the file because I see that it's missing some of the comments that I. Also here we did all elms. And the left click to attack, right click to parry. I mean, at the moment we don't have the parry, so we have to change this mission. I'm sorry, I have to make it simpler, but we will for now we'll just bind the left click to attack, which basically is done. And now we have a few other missions which are have combat manager compile, right? The one that we ported, so that's a good mission, and I think we are basically there. Then the next mission will be to to have when left click call attack server side and get results, right? Yes, this will be the main mission. I would say this will be the main mission that we have, right? If we manage to do the last one, I think we are good. This guy is not compiling. Okay. Yes, there are a few errors because now I removed the fake combat manager, which is this. Oh, by the way, I should also remove it here. Yes. Let's remove the fake combat manager everywhere. So yes, let me delete this one. So now that we deleted that one, it's pretty good because all the classes that were trying to use the fake combat manager will now report an error, and so we can fix them one by one. And actually integrate our new combat manager everywhere, everywhere it was called previously. Still compiling. Okay. Yeah, so we need to fix all of those, but it will be pretty simple because in the majority of the cases we will have just to include the combat manager, and that's it. The majority of these cases will just be go up here and include combat manager. Like in PS character, they should already be here, but commented out if I did the job right. Where is it? No, it's not here. Strange. Strange. Okay, anyway. we included yes, whenever we have this everywhere, you know, in the code, we can now change it to Combat Manager. I think we can do it in all open documents. It's not, well, the problem is that we will do it also in gem. No, let me do it manually. Wow, so many places. Under user manager, under there are quite some places where it was used. Okay, it finished. This one we will have to think about it, because I think I did some mess here, but anyway. Okay, so we changed that, we changed this. Now let's recompile, because there are so many, so we did so many changes that the list of errors is not valid anymore. So just recompile it. And by the way, we are stream 97, 3 streams from 100. So yeah, we have to declare Combat Manager here. Otherwise, let me see if it was already. In theory, it should be already. Ah, here it is. In fact, same thing in PS attack. There it is. And same thing in PS attack Q. There it is. We already have a lot of the classes for attack ported, like PS attack Q, and such are already ported, which is pretty good. I did it a long time ago. I don't know. I did it when I ported all the basic objects. I also ported the attack functionality. And there are still a few get combat manager. I think I did a mass substitution, but probably this one was not open, huh? This one was probably not open. Okay, now combat manager attack type and number definition. Could be that is in our parking lot. Yes, it is. So we can remove it from the parking lot, which is nice. And what else is missing? I think we should pretty much done. I think we are very close to have it compiled. I think we're pretty close. Yeah, there is some check VA, which means that all the logical ones are done. And this too has to be definitely escaped. Okay. I need to declare my combat manager here actually, which I didn't. Okay. Succeeded, boys. One build succeeded. Okay, so at least he compiled. Now, the fact it works is another point, but at least he compiles. So this mission, have combat manager compile is done. Yay. Now, what we want to do, this one. When the user left click, call attack on the server side and get the results, right? Which in theory should use already all the code that we have in place, because our NPC has all the characteristic loaded, our player has all the characteristic loaded. He already managed the fact if he has a weapon in hand, his strength, his dexterity, or whatever, his agility, and such, right? So I'm just thinking about it, but I think that everything should work except the fact that we need to remove the queue of the attack. The automatic queuing should be removed, but the execution of the attack, I think, should already be doable. Now we need to understand what to call now, because he's probably attack someone, but what was it? Attack someone. So let's check in the old code where this is coming from. Okay, this attack someone. I want to see who is calling this. Okay, so user manager attack. Okay, so he's starting from user manager and he's doing some preliminary checks on the fact if he can attack or not. So user manager attack, I think we have it. We have it for sure, because we have, if I go in user manager attack, there it is. Now I have some mess here in the dynamic cast. Get target object. Is get target object returning an A actor or a PS character? I think it's returning an A actor, huh? Yes, he's returning an A actor. So attack someone. Attack someone is taking an APS character. So for now, I know it's not the best, but for now we assume that whatever we are attacking is an NPC, okay, or another player, is not an object. I would like it to work also on an object, so like we can bash a door and destroy it, but this is something that we can do later on. At the moment, I think we can keep it. I'm not fully happy about that, but I think we can go like this. So expand it so we can attack also an object we want to destroy. Example, a door. Okay. So for now we assume the target is a character, right? So if we need to get the target object, and if the target object is not, no, I think we can just do it here. It's much easier. If I do this, if I just do a cast of that to APS character, I think it's done, right? I just cast this to APS character, and we can say if not target. So if he's not an APS character, what do? We just return and fuck it, or do we want to send a message? I would like to send a message. I would like to send a message. So let's send a message to the client saying something like, you cannot attack. You cannot attack an object for now. Let's say yet. So this will be yeah. It is working with the target though. So because he's taking the so we can do it like this for now, and then we can change it later on. Okay. So for now we will use our target. So we'll have to actually click on the NPC and then attack it. Okay, and then we will remove it later. I think it's fine. So I don't have to do too many changes in the code at the moment. So at least we see that we do some damage, hopefully. But basically, we are coming through this. So the entry point seems to be user manager attack. This seems to be the entry point. Is it the real entry point? Or there is another entry point? Attack, handle attack. Actually, there is an handle attack. Actually, there is an handle attack. Yes. There is an handle attack, which is the message. So yeah, so the real entry point is handle attack. There is the real entry point. The real entry point. So we should use this function called by our client. What it's doing is checking if to see if this is trying to raise lower the stance, blah blah blah. Because here we are changing our stance as well. Yeah, we do it in the same mode. Okay, the same function. I don't like it too much. I would have preferred two separate messages, right? I don't like this. Because the point is that we are calling this if we are changing our stance, which I really don't like. Is there another message just to change the stance? Maybe there is. No? So you see, so it's just going through this. Isn't there a command to change the stance in PlaneShift? Like if I want to change my stance to the full defensive or full attack, isn't there a command? I mean, is queued with the attack, right? That's weird. I was thinking it's very strange now, but maybe it's this way. So if I click on, let me check in the old client, inside UI. So that thing is the info window. I don't remember if the info window is called info window. Yeah, the info window exists. Okay, the info window should have a stance, right? So we only want to deal with our own stance changes. Combat selected, attack queue. There should be a button where I click. There it is. On button pressed, stop attack, stance convert, command format attack, stand. Yeah, there is no stance command. There is no stance command. There is the attack command, which is taking the stance as a parameter. Okay. Okay. I don't think I agree to that, but it's okay. I mean, for now we can leave it, but then we should be able to split it. You should be able to switch your stance even if you are not attacking. You may decide to go full defensive, even if you're not attacking anyone yet. But it's not the way it works now. So the entry point is this one, is handle attack, which as you see at the moment I completely commented out because I guess I was not willing to take care of it at that time, but now we want to. So let me see if there is any problem with that. Well, yes, because we need to pass in. So this message, let me check what this message is. This message, if I go under user manager, is user manager? Yes. User manager handle attack. Okay. Handle attack. This command user message. What is the definition of this? Is having, wow, bunch of stuff. No, but we only need the stance. It's not a problem. We only need the stance. We don't need all of that. So I understand, but so we can. Ah. Ah. No, no, no. No, let's just stance gets word 1. Ah, okay. Really? I'm a bit confused, but I think what I did here is correct. I think what I did here is correct in the sense that our stance so let's do something different. So this is stance string, okay. So message stance becomes stance string, otherwise we are making a mess. Okay, if this is equal to this and client get mode is in combat already, get raised actor stance, we do this. If strength is lower, okay, because in the command you can say raise or lower. Okay, so compared to the current one, we go up 1 or down 1 in terms of stance. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. And this one becomes stance string. And then based on the stance, okay. Is this one the target or what? I don't know what is this. This is my target because call it client is not very useful. Yeah, I think it's me. So this one is me. Okay. And then we are using the target. Okay. So this is the attacker. We can rename it to attacker to be more clear, but should we? Or not? I don't know. Maybe not. Let's leave it client. Okay, so this is fine. This piece of code is fine. So we can call handle attack to actually execute the attack code of the old plane shift server, right? So I think it's great. I think it's pretty good. And handle attack. So what do we need to do? We need to nothing. We need, well, Yeah, it's pretty simple. We need just to add a new method inside our Planeship player controller, right? Which is handling the attack. Now, I'm just thinking everything should run server side at all time, right? So we don't want any of this to happen client side. And then we need to multicast the result. Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I'm thinking to stuff, but I think it's not. I don't have to think. It's just as simple as that. There is no problem. There is no problem. We can just add a new function here. Do we have a combat section? No, we don't. Huh? So maybe we make a new combat section. Okay. Combat. So for combat, what we want to do, we want to call this thing, which is handle attack. So we need, I would say request, right? We always use request. So let's take any request, like request this one, right? So this will be a request attack. And this will be PS combat. And so what do we need? What do we need? We need only the stance, right? I think we need only the stance. Because at the moment the target will be defined by the click. I mean by the current target. Okay, so we only need that. We don't need anything else. So this will become a Planeship player controller. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Okay, and inside of this, what do we want? We want to. Well, first of all, I want to print out the fact that we are in this function. So I want to print out something like this. And I want to say, okay, I'm requesting the attack. And for sure not log crafting. Let's do log temp for now. And then I want to pass in the pawn. Yeah, like we do all the time. Like we do all the time. This. So I get the pawn of the current character, and then I just call user manager, and then handle attack, and then I will pass in the stance and myself, right? And that's it. So I think it would be as simple as that. And so we start to execute the server-side code when we issue the attack. Now, what we need to do, we need on the blueprint to call this function, right? So let's see if this compiles, because I did quite some changes, but should compile. Yeah, by the way, I think it is a much better idea than the previous idea. I think that this one is keeping the spirit, you know, of the old plan shift, and is much better. Yep. Yep. Does it compile, please? Let's see. I did change it to some H file, that's why. Yeah, I've changed the... Okay, compiled, nice. So we have this function, which is request attack, which now should appear on the blueprint side. So let's compile also the DLL for the editor, and so we can launch the editor. We can launch the editor and recompile that. And give me 1 second, I go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, when this is completed, I will be back. Okay, I'm back. So the editor restarted, fine, it compiled okay. Good. Hello, Maui. How are you? We're going for combat, eh? We're going for combat. Finally! I will be able to kill something. Let's see. So. I want to see now if in my player controller I get I reverted everything, right? Yes. Should I check just if there are any updates before? No, there are no updates. Okay, fine. So I can go and change it. So character blueprint. Why is saying that he's check it out? I think he's check it in, no? Oh, I don't know. Okay, anyway, now on my player controller, what we want to do, we want when we right click, did we place it here or did we place it in the player controller? This sound that you are hearing is the I don't know why we hear it continuously. Okay, now it's gone. Are the steps of the character, the footsteps of the character, which are scripted into the blueprint, and for some reason is simulating it, and so we hear the footsteps. Okay, so I was just thinking. So here we can call the request. Now, how were we executing that? I don't remember. I think it's under magic and combat, right? And I have some input, mouse and keyboard, input action. There should be an input action attack. No. Input action attack. No. Wait a second. We don't have it, huh? I remember. I thought we had it, but probably it's not declared as an action. It's not declared. Left mouse button, edited. So we connected it here. Okay, we connected it here for some reason. So at the moment, what is doing? Set interact on anim attack. Anim attack. Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. Okay, so so now what we want to do we don't want to call this anymore, right? We don't want to call this anymore at all. But we want to call in our player controller. Right? So I need a get player controller, blah blah blah, which I don't have anywhere here. So I would just do get controller, and I would just cast it to plane shift player controller, and I don't know why there is a plane shift player controller, a plane shift player controller base. Seems that we are using always plane shift player controller. Okay, anyway, we do this, and then what we want to do here is to call our method that we just created, which is the request, which we need to create. Here we are on client, careful boys, we are on client, so we need to call, so we need to add a new event, which will be request attack PC, so player controller. This one will be executed on server and be reliable, and have as the only parameter a string which is our stance. Alright, okay, and this one is the one that we will call from our character blueprint here. So we will call request attack PC. Now there's not a lot of space here. Doesn't fit anyway. Doesn't fit anyway. Okay, now it fits. Okay, so we call this. So if we are in the mouse mode, and only in that case, we are getting our plane shift player controller, we are requesting an attack, and we are passing in the stance. Now, what are the name of the stances? I have no idea. It's like normal, defensive, full defensive, things like that. So I think the standard one should be normal, right? Let me see if I find stance. Stance. Get stance. Get stance, cache manager find cache manager instance ID find. So that seems to be the trick. Anyway, normal seems to be the normal one. So normal seems to be the one that we need. I don't find it. Okay, let's say normal for now. Okay, let's not make it too complex. So normal is, so for now we just put in normal stance, and then we will work in the client to actually manage the stance, right? But at the moment stance will be normal. So this will call this ask server to attack our target. So this one will call then request attack, which is the one on the server, and then we will probably receive some answer back, but it is basically what we are doing, right? Nothing else. Okay, so that's cool. That's cool. So whenever we click, right, whenever we click, something will happen server side. And now we can just test it and see what happens exactly and follow the code and see. I mean, we still have to do, you know, a lot of fixes, I think, but let me just check one thing that is, I think, the one that we will hit very soon, the attack range, because I think the attack range, max combat event range, let me just check this one, at which distance is it, because this is still expressed in meters, I think, right? Yes, like you see is 30, but we want it in centimeters, so it would be like 3000 or 10 or 1000, like 1 meter, no, 10 meters, no, how much we want, depends on the weapon actually. This max combat event range, I think, is when it says that some, okay, so this one is, I think it can be 3000. That is the information of, I mean, who gets into this chat the fact that you are fighting, that's fine. So 30 meters you hear the combat. But is there also an attack distance? It should be, eh? There should be a range. Where is the range check? Maybe it's inside of this. Attack can attack. Maybe it's inside this check here. Type requirements, requirement check, client requirements check. I was expecting just a distance check somewhere. Ah, it is. You are too far away to attack. If started attacking. Yeah, it's actually the result of this. No. Yeah, it is. Weapon check requirements. Check requirements, blah blah blah. I don't know. Let's just follow the code and see. Somewhere in the code. I don't know exactly what is it, but there should be somewhere a range check, which is the one that is basically, yeah. I think it should be this, but maybe I just don't see it. Maybe it's in front of me and I don't see it. But okay, fine. So let's just launch it and let's debug attack someone. I think we will go through this as soon as we try to attack someone. first test we want to do is to check what happens when we don't have a target. And then we will check when we have a target. Also, we want to check when we have a target that is not an NPC. Right? Okay, so the server is starting. Let's start the client meanwhile. Okay. Server is not up yet. My PC is doing something, I don't know, but it seems that CPU is 100%. Okay. Twelve processors, 100%. Okay, the server seems to be starting up now. Yeah, obviously in debug mode it takes a bit more. Huh? It's kind of normal. Now, before putting any breakpoints, though, let me just test if we get any message. Okay, so the server is up. Yeah, this timed out is fine. So we log in and okay, so if I left click now, nothing happens. But if I go in combat mode, let's take this big guy. If I go no, let's not have anything clicked. Okay, so no target. So I go in combat mode and wait, I go in combat mode and I left click. Fuck. What happened? Ah, there was a breakpoint here. Fuck it. There was a breakpoint I didn't see. Okay, we have to reconnect. Okay. So I was saying, okay, I go in combat mode and then I left click. It says you cannot attack an object yet. Well, it's not really true because we don't have anything selected at the moment. So yeah, it is because our check for null. It is because of our check for now, but it's fine. So let's select, at least it doesn't allow me to reach. Let's select this monster here, okay? And let's go maybe to a very far range and see what happens. So I have this guy selected and I want to attack. Boom, okay. It crashed, kind of expected. So let me see. We went through attack, stances, normal, and client is me. Okay, we did all these checks about is frozen, is not frozen, blah blah blah. The target is valid, yes, it's the Lavar character, so it's okay. Now we entered into attack someone, and here is where we crashed. Here is where we crashed. Cashman. Fuck it. I know why. The problem is that we still have, yes it is. We still have cache manager and entity manager as local variables in this class. Okay. It's something I overlooked. So we have to compile it again. Because it was using the local cache manager which doesn't exist, by the way, so That's why he has to use the global one. Okay. Okay, wait the compilation. Should be done soon, boys. Mm-hmm. Starting up. Okay, is up. Now I hope it doesn't crash, or anyway that it crashes in a different point. I want to do damage to that monster. I want to do damage. Okay, so let's select this guy, go in combat mode, swing. We have a breakpoint? No, we crashed anyway. Okay, let's see where we crashed. So we actually went past the crash that we had before, so which is good. We have a weapon. The weapon is actually valid. It seems so, yes. We are scheduling, we are getting in the attack queue which one is the first type of attack we have to execute, and in this case it's a default attack, yes, which seems to be okay. We went through the ability to attack, so we can actually attack this guy. Nice. We passed the check requirement for the weapon. Nice. We should also get a message on the server here that we try to attack. Let me see. Yes, current character try to attack with weapon gold faction at okay, there is a bit of a problem. Attacker get name is not current character C1. Current character C1 tries to attack with, I think I need to have text and text here as well. Okay, but anyway. Weapon gold falcon at range 376. Okay, but the printout is okay. The printout is okay. So we are attacking this guy. Now what happens? We go inside this attack, and for some reason we crash. Yeah, we crash here because type is actually null. What is this type? Type is null, so there is something that is not working as expected. I mean, it seems that this check is not working, but I don't know why it's not working. Type is attack type, right? And we're basically saying that if type is valid, we get type ID. If not, we get 0. So actually type is not valid. So why it doesn't like this? I don't get it. I mean, I can put an int type here. It's not a problem. But why this check is not working? I mean, why if I do if type is crashing? Because it's never been initialized. I mean, we wanted to initialize it to null, or we can initialize it to 0. I mean, because this type probably has never been initialized in our attack creation. It's never been initialized. I mean, I can do it like this, but it's no difference. So I don't get what is the problem. And it will be the same here. I mean, it cannot do it inside the definition. I don't get what is the problem. I think I'm doing something stupid because the problem is something else. It's not this. I mean, it's not this. The problem is something else because it seems that this type, if type, doesn't reason with him, even if type is actually null. We can set type as null here at the beginning. When we create PS attack, which I think is the only place. Yeah, we return null, so we assign that to null for sure. When we are doing the loading, we are assigning null to this 100%. I don't get what is the trick. Do you see the error, or do you have any suggestion to fix that? Because I don't get it. I could do if type different than null, but it should be the same as if type. Let's see. Let's put maybe a breakpoint here. Okay, servers up. Okay. So we select the guy, the big guy. We go in combat mode and we swing. Okay. Now we check what is going on. What is going on here? Wow. I did F10, boys. What the hell? There is something he's not liking. He doesn't like this event environment. Ah, okay. Yes, this is old code. We cannot new object of an object that is not a U object, so that's why. Okay, so my change obviously makes no sense. I mean, it's not needed. I mean, it's okay, but it's not needed. So let's just roll back that because it's not needed. No, the problem is this line. The problem is this line because this line is trying to initialize with new object an event that is actually is not an event. So do we want it to be a timed event? Yes, for sure, because it takes a certain amount of time to actually attack, right? It takes a certain amount of time to attack. So let's say my weapon has a speed factor of 1 second. So it takes 1 second to actually swing. Right? What does it mean? That I need to have the animation start after 1 minute, after 1 second, or do I need the animation to start immediately and then the result will be done after 1 second? Just the resolution. There is one problem. There is the difference between the old and the new system, because the old system was not caring about it too much. I think it was just swinging the weapon. I think he's swinging the weapon at the end of the event, not now. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So, okay. So we need to change this guy. This PS combat event must become a UPS game event as well. It must become an Unreal event, otherwise this will never work. Right? This will never ever work. So, okay. So this is something that we have to change. This is something we have to change in PS attack. In PS attack, we have our combat attack game event. This one will become a U combat attack game event. It will become a real class. I mean a real engine class. And so what do we need? We need a few things. So first of all, we need this to become, what happens? We need this to become a U class. Then we need to have our We need to have our generated body. Come on, can I switch between these two classes? Should not be very hard, right? Okay, generated body. Then I need to have an empty constructor because otherwise nothing will work. So I need to have an empty constructor for this, which it does nothing, but is needed to be initialized by our thingy. Then I want to have a set parameter. Just searching. Come on. Okay, here it is, the purify event. Okay. Yes, I want to have a function which is called setup parameters like this because I want to keep it consistent, you know. So it's the same for every object that we do. So our PS attack will have here a void set parameters, and this one will have like similar to this one time t blah blah blah. I mean all the different parameters. And let me just change this to be like that, and this will be doing exactly like we do here, right? So the latex equal to in the latex and attack equal to attack and so on. Attacker equal to attacker, target equal to target, and so on. Okay. And all these variables are valid on this class, I assume. Okay. So these are all the variables. This becomes a UPS combat event, yes. Let me do something. Let me just change it everywhere because otherwise it takes more time than anything else. Wherever it is defined, we change it. So now we are making this class a real Unreal Object class. Wow, 16? Holy shit. All the rest should be fine. In theory, all the rest should be fine. Let me just check if we had this thing in our dummy class, because I want to be sure. No, it's not here. No. Okay. So we are not going to pollute anything. This should be fine. Here we have all our variables. We are setting all these variables. So the thing is that we need to now change this class, right, to be similar to this one. So we need to create the generated, the .h generated. This will be PS attack generated, and We need to make it PS Unreal, otherwise it will not work. We need to change this to Pragma once because otherwise it will not like it. Okay, let's see if it compiles, so which errors we get. But yes, the problem was that that event was not properly initialized, so that's the issue. Our combat event was not yet ported properly to Unreal. It's raining again. It's raining with the sun. There is a very strong sun and it's raining as well at the same time. Searching for the rainbow? I don't see it, but it's definitely raining with the sun. Okay, you give some error. Weapon slot undeclared identifier. Okay, why is this? Why weapon slot? It doesn't like it. While it was required. It was required here. Weapon slot. In combat manager, yes, but let's take the original PS attack, which is under bulk object, I think. Yes. Let's check in this document. Yes, weapon slot. No, wait, I'm doing something stupid. This, yes, weapon slot. Weapon slot is going into weapon slot. Yes, why he doesn't like it? Because it's weapon slot with the S uppercase. Okay, so now we are setting up these parameters. Now this function, we need to call it when we were generating this thing. And I think we were generating it from Combat Manager, right? Which is where it crashed, exactly where it crashed before. So when we do attack someone, I think we were generating PS attack and attack. No, it was inside of this. It was inside attack. Okay. So it's inside PS attack. And here there was attack. Okay, here it is. So we need to do event and then set up parameters, right? And here we need to set up all these parameters. Now we were doing it differently here. We were doing it with calling all these functions, but I don't think it's needed. I think we can just use the setup parameter, which I like much more, by the way, because I think it's more understandable. Let me just see if we have all the parameters right. So we have the first one is the delay text, so it is executing it immediately. This may be a problem though, because this may be a problem, boys. Because the Unreal timers are not working if the time is 0. It has to be some value, kind of any value, but it has to be some value. So, or we put 0.01, you know, so that is 1 millisecond is, what is it? So this will be, considering is made of, so 1 second, milliseconds, so 0.01 will be 1 millisecond. I don't know if it triggers, but there is something we have to fix. The question is why we are generating an event if we want to execute it immediately. A bit confused about that. Now, in fact, you see here that we define a delay. Ah, you see? Okay. Now, so our trigger text, which is our delay text, by the way, is this delay. Okay, delay is this one. Delay is this one. So we need to set up these parameters actually after having completed this. And this one we will remove it. And here we will have delay. Okay, fine, it is better. Delay this attacker, target, slot, and weapon. Let me just double check that we have all the variables correct. Attack, attacker, target, slot, and weapon. Okay. So everything seems to be fine in terms of parameters that we are passing in. So this setup parameter should be okay. And so we do a new object, and then we need to push this object into the thing. Okay, save the delay in the environment for other scripts to use. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Okay, should be fine. So now we convert, so if it compiles, I think we can test it. We could also check how much is the delay, but I think the delay is derived from, what? Is derived from attack delay. Attack delay. There should be a definition of this delay somewhere. Yes, it's actually a script called attack delay. Now, web console. Let me just start the Apache because I need my web console up. Okay, so if we go under rules, scripting, and I search for delay something, delay, what was it? It was called attack delay. Attack delay is not here. It's not here either. Why we don't have this attack delay thingy? I cannot find it. So it's not a defined script, so this one will always return empty. Get row string delay attack delay. No, probably it's getting it only from the database. Okay. It's taking it from the database. It's not a math script. Sorry, I was reading the code wrong. So it's inside here somewhere. And is if I check item stats and I check, for example, my Falcon, which is this line, in the database I should have an attack delay, I think, right? Weapon penetration. I don't see it, but it's probably here. And there are so many attributes that I'm not sure is here. Remove mesh. Weapons. I think it should be weapon speed. This one 4. Weapon speed. Why is calling it? Why in the code is it calling it delay? I don't know. Anyway, let's consider it works, and then we will see. Okay, so because maybe it works. I mean, we don't want to. Okay, now it has some issues. Yes, because our constructor, this constructor doesn't exist anymore. Yes. And it's also setting an attacker ID and an attacker and a target ID. And he's also setting these two things. So I think that this I need to copy. All the rest I think I don't need, but let me just comment this out. But I think in our creation we need two things. We need first to set the type main. So we do type equal to, and then we set this stuff. Type, I think there was a type, right? There was a type which was the event type. No? I remember that there was a type that you can set. Yes, exactly, this one, type. Why it doesn't like it? Because we need to use this freaking, I know, I remember, I had this problem already. And I solved it with this. Okay. I think that here we are doing everything that is required. Now this one is not really correct. This one I think we should do attacker is not get unique ID. I think for us is get PID. It's a PS character, right? So get PID should be there. No? Get stats ID. Get unique ID. No, why? It's not saying it as a PS character. I think in PS character. I'm a bit confused. Why we don't have PID? Ah, here it is. Get PID. Why now is here and before it was not? Okay. I mean, 1 second ago in the drop down we didn't see it. Now we see it. Okay, but it's okay. It's fine. Okay, so we do that. So we set also the two IDs of the target and the attacker properly. Okay. Now, what else is missing? Is anything? No, let's try to compile it this way. Because our constructor is only this line, so basically nothing. Okay. Doesn't like it. Use of undefined type PS character. Well, I can import it. It's inside bulk object, so it's in the same location, so should be okay. Even if this will probably generate a circular reference. I was declaring PS character here. Let's see if he likes it, but I think from PS character we are including PS attack, so use of undefined type PS character. I mean, is this one that doesn't like or what? PS character is here. Gem act also we should remove. It's not needed. Client also we should remove. Combat manager I think we should include. It was included already, so I think we should include server/combat manager and remove it from here. Why still complaining about PS character? Do you have an idea? Don't get why. Boys, why is complaining about APS character? I don't understand. We have our APS character. Okay. I think I did this mistake already one time. It's just the fact that he prefers to have the implementation in the CPP where we can. So I just have to move this. It happened to me already. I don't understand exactly why, but it's okay. He wants to have this in the CPP and not in the H file. At this point, I think if you are including PS character here is enough. Let's see, like this. So we just put the declaration in the .h and we put the implementation in the CPP. Sometimes when you are using types that are not of the same class, it's complaining about it. Okay, we should be close to have at least this method called properly. Let's say we should let's see, the next steps are to understand if the delay of the weapon is actually correct. Yes, it went forward, so it's good. Entity manager, we don't need this anymore. This thing is not needed because we have all our managers as global variables for the in PS Unreal.h, which can be accessed by any other class. So it's a bit of a simplification, but I don't see any drawback really in doing this because we have all the manager classes, which basically you can see as a static. I mean, they're not really static, but we call them as we wish from across the code base. So, and it's only for the managers. Few more errors. Member function UPS combat event cannot be redeclared outside. What the hell? What do you mean? Aha, there is this. There was a semicolon. There was a semicolon. There was too much. Okay, build succeeded, boys. Build succeeded. Nice. Okay, we did this, so build is succeeded. So let's launch it again and see what happens. I hope at least now the combat manager event. Wait, the client is running. Okay, I think now this combat event should be set up properly, and so it should not crash anymore. We will see, because obviously it's the first time we are executing this part of the code, and all the combat code was not really ported at that time. I just ported some pieces. So now we are basically putting together all the pieces related to combat, including attacks, attack queue, and weapons, and all of that. So, I mean, obviously, some mistakes may be there, and some bugs may appear, but it's mainly syntax. It's not real logic bugs, right? Just if we convert the syntax not completely, if there are still some gem actor or gem object into the way, which was the old way of doing things. So just have to check that. I'm checking while it's compiling. I was checking a game that was made with Unreal for an entry for a contest, like a jam, you know, like a coding jam. Seems to be very nice. So I was just trying to download it and run it. It's 1 gigabyte, so I don't know if the download of that will make the stream a bit slow. I hope not. But anyway, if you hear my voice cracking a bit, it's just because I'm downloading that game, and then we can test it a bit. So no, I'm interested because he has some arrow shooting, which we may need. So what I was doing, yes, I have to launch the client. We launched it in debug mode, right? Yes, we launched it in debug mode. Can you still hear me okay? Because I'm downloading this gigabyte stuff. It's about half, so half done. So it should take 1 minute more, 2 minutes more. I hope my voice is still fine and the video is still fine. Okay, so we are back here. So what we want to do, we want to select our NPC. Selected. Go in combat mode and swing. And see what happens. At least it didn't crash, which is good. He said changes to normal stance. Nice, so we actually changed our mode to, so the attack went through, but I don't know if the event triggered already. Probably not. So let's debug. What I want to see is how much is the delay, because if the delay is in seconds and not in milliseconds, or vice versa, I think we may have a problem. The fact is that it seems my left click doesn't do anything now. Why? My left click doesn't do anything. Probably because I'm already in combat. Yeah, probably because I'm already in combat. Let me see if I go in my Planshi player controller inside request attack. Yeah, there should be a printout anyway. Request attack. Yeah. I'm requesting the attack. Yeah. Every time I left click, request attack is getting called, but I think that our code here, considering I already scheduled one attack and we didn't execute it, is not allowing me to do anything else, which is correct anyway. So I think the delay is probably very high. We should divide it by 1000 because it's milliseconds instead of seconds. So I think we are probably reaching this point, but we are not calling attack. Come on, IntelliSense. It's easy. It's there. It's in the same class. Yes, it's here. So I think we are probably failing somewhere here. Not even before this. Okay. Even before this. Wow. It's impossible. Oh no, okay. We are here. We are here. Sorry, I think I misclicked the. I don't get why it doesn't trigger. Okay. If client is alive, we are alive for sure. Because he's here then. Okay. He's allowed to attack someone. Attack someone if defeated or overweight. Okay. I think he's giving us a message that or we are overweight in terms of number of items so we cannot attack, or something else is going on. Let me do this again because I want to understand. So if he's allowed to attack, yes, attack someone. Attack someone, it says if attacker get mode defeated or overweight. Now, character piece combat mode, reset swings, start attacking as a weapon, character slot, item can attack. I mean, it's doing 1 million checks, but at a certain point, should go inside attack. Okay, attack, start attack. And then, so we arrive up to here. Let me just check the delay of the first attack, because I think there is the problem we are having. The delay is 4000. Yeah, it's 4000, so we should divide it by 1000. Otherwise, because this delay is in seconds and we are going in milliseconds, so this will never happen. Will happen in 4000 seconds from now, so it will never happen. Now, what will happen when that triggers? We will have a combat event. So when this triggers, we'll do attack effect. Wow, it's doing a lot of stuff, boys. He's doing a lot of stuff. When he's actually doing the attack? Guess they did. Attack result, weapon getting range. Okay. There is checking the range, by the way. I'm trying to get where is doing the actual attack. Calculate attack. And affect target. Okay, here I think is finally doing damage. Oh my god. This thing, boys. Okay, and here is the trick. Schedule the next attack. You see, this one is the one that we don't want anymore, because this one is after he executed one attack, he's scheduling the next attack with the same. So this one for now we will remove. So we don't want to automatically schedule the next attack. It's the user clicking for it. Okay, so this one I think we can remove definitely, and I think it's okay. So, but I'm trying to understand when this guy is sending the information to the client. Probably is this thing. Yeah, it's probably is only this thing. So there is no visuals. There is only a text. Now the swing of the weapon, I don't know where it happens, right? But I think we need to do a few things. So we need to do a few things before moving on. We need to change all the send system info in the right way. Otherwise, we will not see any output. So this is another piece of the fact that all the set system errors we need to change, because and all the info and all the okay and all the we need to change them all in this file, because otherwise we will not see any result, and most of the results are text. Event get attacker ID. Oh shit. This will be event attacker. Okay. Should be fine. All these messages like you are too tired to attack, all this stuff we need to have. Right? All this stuff we need to have. Let me just copy this line, which is probably easier, because like all these three lines are exactly identical. Like you are too far away to attack, you must face the enemy to attack, you are out of ammo. Okay. Okay, all of those are fine. Okay, the system error we finished. Now we search for the system info. Okay, because there are, yeah, you're saying there are also a number here. And all of this is part of the porting of the code. Attacker. And this part of the code we left it partially ported. The reason is that we didn't want to mess up, you know, with combat at that time. And so we left few parts completely untouched, still to port. And now we are getting to this part here, so this we can delete. Okay. Get an attacker, get a, okay, so I think this one is okay. Okay, there are no send system info anymore. Let me just check if there are some send system okay. No. Or if there are some send system result. No. Okay. Okay, so we converted all of those. Now, what we want to see that the only problem is that we have to go out of combat after we because otherwise the second attack will never work, right? If we are already in combat, it doesn't allow us to schedule one again. At least it is what I'm seeing. I don't know exactly where is it though, so I think we will have to debug it because I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we have to compile it and see. I'm not 100% sure where is the check that we have to disable. But now if we want to click, you know, for each of the attacks, I think we need to disable the check that verifies if you are already in combat. Yeah. Now we have a number of other problems. So for example, the fact that we are checking the range. I think the range check is okay, but the facing for sure is not okay. Because I think that facing the enemy is something that we were doing with the old Crystal Space code, and now it's done completely different. So I think that check will fail. At the moment it will fail, most likely. So there is still a bit we have to check before actually doing damage. But we are making good progress anyway. Making good progress. Basically putting together all the pieces needed. Okay, so I select the monster and I swipe. Okay, so attack. Let's just let it go and see what it does, okay? For a second. Let's just let it go. So now in 4 seconds something should happen. Combat, it says combat stopped as attacker 116 left combat mode. Okay, this was not, so for some reason when he's executing the attack, it thinks we are no more in combat mode. And that's strange. That's kind of strange though, because we definitely... That is kind of strange. Why it thinks we are not anymore in combat mode? If I swing again, yes, if I swing again, you execute this, attack someone, attacker get mode. Why is saying that my mode is one of these two? I don't understand. Character mode overweight. Okay, character mode overweight. It says we are overweight. It says we are overweight, so we cannot basically attack. What do we have in our inventory? Battle axe, weight 5. I mean, we can drop this battle axe and the round shield, whatever. I mean, why? Okay, let me drop some stuff, okay? The problem is that it doesn't tell me this in the client, so the player will never know. Like this butter thing is super it's waiting a lot. It waits a lot. Also, the slop is waiting 8. All this is waiting so much. Okay, everything else is waiting nothing, so I think now it should be okay. It should tell me that I cannot attack an object. Okay, it's correct. So attack someone is allowed to attack someone. I'm still overweight. What the hell? I think the calculation for overweight is not correct. Because it's always saying that I'm overweight. Player mode, character overweight. I don't know why. When I drop an item, it should change it, right? Why I'm overweight, boys? What did I eat? Let me search in the code where we are setting this, okay? So it may happen here. In theory, it should happen when I drop when I pick up an item or I drop an item, right? It should change when I drop or. Update encumbrance. This is still using gem actor GG, so this will never work. This will never work. We have to change that. I mean, it is probably getting called. It is probably getting called when I pick up an item or I drop an item, but it is never working. No, it's not getting called. Strange. I was expecting it to be called. No. Why this one is not called? This update encumbrance, I was hoping that you would call it, but like character inventory ad, come on, we should go through this, right? We should go through this for sure when I'm picking up something. Yes, in fact we go through this. And why we don't go into that thingy? I don't understand. Why is not going through this? Wait a second. So when I drop something or when I pick up something, why is not updating my thing? There's something not working here. There is something relevant not working. There is something not working when we pick up this thing. So if we pick up this weapon, okay? Check if it stacks with an existing item. It doesn't. Check if the main bulk slot. Okay, 4 item index not found. Find slot index. If test, return true. What the fuck is this? What is this if test return true? I mean, why we are coming in with test equal to because probably it's checking if we can do it. It's checking if we can actually pick it up, and then only if we can pick it up he execute it for real. So it should come here twice in theory, right? But it doesn't. It comes here only once. Bit confused. Why? Is test equal to something? Just a second, man. Hmm. Okay, sorry, because they are messaging me that I have to switch to. I have to go to dinner a bit earlier with some people, so unfortunately I will have to end the stream earlier. Pity. I wanted to get this thing done, but I think I can restart the stream after dinner. I think I will restart the stream after dinner because I want to have this done completely. So for some reason, I mean, my encumbrance is not updated properly, and it's actually never updated. I'm trying to understand why. So if you are entering here, when I drop an item and when I pick up an item, where I'm coming from, I'm coming from here. PS item actor, send behavior message. PS item actor, send behavior message. This name send behavior message is very weird, but I think is the one that, yes, that is actually doing the job, right? So it's doing the pickup. I just want to see if it's passing true or false. Test equal to false, stack equal to true. But there is also a you fix me was container. So why I think I did some mess here. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay. I think I did some mess in this part, which is so for sure we go through this. We check if he's in range. We get the item data. We check all of that. Okay, here is the thing that we did. We removed container. Why we remove container? I mean, because this is only the fact if we are moving it to a container. I think here there is some piece of code that I didn't fully port. I have to check why. It's casting to gem container. It's casting to gem container. So okay, I understand. Do we have a is container function? We don't have it. We don't have a container function. We have a get sides maybe that we can use. No. Get slots. Get container sides. Come on, there is in the database 100%. There is the number of the size of the container. Where is it? It's called container max size, container max slots. Right. So if so we can do the check this way maybe. You know, we can check slot. Why slot is not here? Okay, sorry. I need to do get data, get item data, whatever it is, get item data, and then I need to do and then I need to do, maybe there is a is container. Get is container. Yes, I have it. Get is. I think I added it at some point. Get is container. Okay, perfect. So what we can do if get is container, right? Then was it doing with this or was it doing with someone else? We're doing with this. Okay. I mean, it's not exactly linear, but we can definitely do this. It's no problem. It's anyway a PS item actor, so for us it's okay. For us it's okay, so we can just put container. We can just do this. Now the problem is that it should not come here at all. I'm very confused about this code. I'm very confused because basically here it seems that it's checking if he returns true. Anyway, this one for sure added the item to my inventory. I mean, for sure, 100%. So apart from the container thingy, which makes no difference to us at the moment, right? This function added the item to our inventory. So I'm trying to understand why my encumbrance was not updated. That's very weird. Container ID. I don't know if it's related to the fact that we don't pass in a container, but next see if we can stack this with the exact same stack in the inventory. Okay. If stack and slot PS character known, get is stackable, find compatible stacked items. Container ID, container for item, container ID. Why this container is called the same as container? That's a very, very bad idea. We have the same variable called twice. It's a very bad idea. Get contained size if container ID, blah, 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 blah. Find compatible stackable item. Check the next main slot. Test equal to false. Come on. Update inventory status. Save. New item. It does it update encumbrance. Why is saying that it's not doing it? It's doing it. Why I said that I was not doing it? Get current total weight. Yeah, it's doing it, but it's broken. Okay, so I think he called it, but unfortunately it's broken. So we need to change this function because this function is completely broken. Okay, so let's do this. There is another fix we need to do. So it's checking if the owner of this item is actually an actor. Well, we are inside a character inventory, so there is no way it is not a character, right? Let me check, but I think it's impossible. It's not a character. It's doing get actor. Yeah. It's doing get actor, which is the same. Okay, fine. So in our case, owner is already a PS character. So we can do a PS character, and okay, if not actor, do whatever you want, and then if the restriction calculate current max weight is equal to max weight, go to overweight. If not, go to piece. Right, exactly. So this was the code it was not executing, and I think that's why we were always encumbered somehow, because this was always returning. It was never putting me into piece mode, I think. Even if, yeah, anyway, this was something we had to do. Unfortunately, boys, I need to go. It's pretty bad, but I need to go. So I will stream again tonight because I want on stream to complete one attack or kill a monster in this stream. I want to be able to actually deal damage, to one monster on stream, which is a pretty important moment in our history and time. So I will be back later tonight after dinner. I think it will be around 9 p.m. If I can, I will already update a bit the code. So I will, if I come in a bit earlier, I don't think so, but in case I will continue a bit, and I will see you then. Okay, so for the ones that are here but not really listening, I will place, because it happens, I will place just a comment here. Let me do it. So even the one of you, they are here but not here. They are not listening to everything, which I understand, by the way. Okay. So I will be back after dinner to complete this mission. Around 9 p.m. Central European Time. Okay. Join me. We can do it. Okay. Red is too much. Let's do it blue. Join me. I can do it red. Okay. See you, boys. I will see you at 9. So in 2 hours and something from now. Okay. And I will see you then, and we will finish this because I want to see one attack landing properly. I want to see it. No excuses.